This is Pace the Nation.
When you climb up that hill, well, eventually you'll come down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into Pace the Nation, broadcasting back here at Studio 1A in downtown Arlington, Virginia. We are back again for episode 286 of everybody's favorite podcast, Pace the Nation. I'm your host, Chris Farley. Alongside me, across from me, is my co-host, Julie Cully. Julie, what's up? How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm curious how many of our loyal listeners
Mhm.
actually think there's a downtown Arlington, Virginia.
Well, the loyalists, no. It's kind of a bit. The loyalists, no.
Okay.
But the one who are, we got a lot of out of town listeners.
Yeah.
So,
Because it's a county, it's not a city, and
Yeah.
then there's neighborhoods. So
Right.
there's not really a downtown, but
Well-
we are downtown.
well, if someone was out of town, if we got great listeners from all over the country, if someone came in from Idaho and they
Okay.
wanted to go to downtown Arlington, where would you send them? Probably here, right?
Well, it looks more like a downtown in Roslyn, but it's fine.
All right.
We can send them to Clarendon.
Roslyn and Clarendon are very close. So we are here in Clarendon, which I have deemed downtown for years. So we're going to stick with that. Excited about our show today. We got a great show, and we're going to be talking to a real strong partner, a new strong partner of Pacers Running, Bill Johnston. He is Recover Brands he is Recover Brands co-founder and president. He's going to be working with us for the Marine Corps Marathon because it is the fall, and it is fall marathon season, race season. So he's going to be talking about all the things that we're doing with his company, Recover Brands. They are really awesome in this space, and can't wait to talk to Bill about that. Doing some new stuff that is related to a lot of sustainability and 360 closed loop. So a lot to talk about with Bill. He's going to join us momentarily. But before we do that, it is the fall, favorite time of the year. And other than, the regular Commanders losing 3 in a row, that is always inevitable after we started 2-0.
So what week is it now? So it was like we had hope for 2 weeks,
Yeah,
and then
So
now
we're
we're
week
now we're
6.
at the point in the season where we've lost all
Yeah,
hope again.
well, not quite. If we lose this week, then it is over. But other than that, and that's normal for the fall. It is my favorite time of year. Love all the races. Love cross country weather. There is this crisp chill in the air, and we are going to get geared up for Marine Corps, and then I'm going to run New York. But last time we left this podcast, we were talking about the DC half, which was an amazing event. We had race director Hilly Biggs on, and you were going to run the DC half, one of your first races in probably years, right?
You got it.
How'd it go?
Pretty miserable. Thanks for asking.
Well,
It was further proof that my career is over and I should stick with my 20 to 25 minute runs 3 days a week
Yeah.
forever.
Well, the experience, though, it was just because you've struggled with injuries and stuff like that. But the experience was awesome.
Yeah, the experience was incredible.
Yeah.
I think there was over 5,000
Yeah.
people there that day. Thankfully, the rain held off for most of the race.
Yep.
It rained a little bit, maybe in the last hour as people were finishing. But the energy was incredible. There were great crowds, great cheer stations. I think the relay piece of the event was really incredible because
Mhm.
that meant that there were places throughout the course where you had big pockets of people to cheer. So it was a beautiful course. It was a great day, great energy, great Pacers. If anyone from Pacers Running is listening,
Yeah.
it was a great Pacers production.
Awesome. Well, good to hear. But your race, it was just a bit of a struggle. I mean, you finished pretty
It's
well.
always a struggle. I was really excited. It was the first race running related goal I've had in 8 years.
Mhm.
my partner in life, Chris Farley, wrote me a training plan. I
Yeah.
had a really good friend who became an even better friend, commit to doing this event with me. So we did a lot of our training together.
Mhm.
Felt good to be back out there. Things that were not great about the training cycle, having to go back to the chiropractor multiple times a
Yeah,
week to try
yeah.
to just keep it all together. But yeah, I had for whatever reason, woke up that morning, everything felt great. Started that race, something felt off. And that off piece got more and more off as those first few miles went. So strained my calf about mile 3. Exciting
Yeah.
stuff.
Did you
But you
feel
know
like-
what? It felt like home. I have
Right.
strained many things in my life.
Did
So
you-
I was like, I'm good. I know how to do this as long as it doesn't get worse.
Did you feel like you were going to drop out? Were there moments where
Oh
you-
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. Yeah. But I felt like it's probably really harsh, but I was like, you can't, I got that back in my head. You
Yeah.
can't drop out.
Yeah.
You can't drop out. You got to get your medal.
Yes.
You got to get across that finish line. So, and I know there's a lot of people out there on any given day that are just trying to get to the finish line.
Yeah.
And it's an accomplishment just to get there. And that
No
really was my goal from the get-go, was just to finish the race. So,
Well, I'm proud of you.
but I didn't slow down. I actually sped up. It's
Yeah.
kind of how it works sometimes. It feels worse to slow down. So I locked into a little bit quicker pace than I had planned, and it's nothing to write home about. But
You did great. You did
but
great.
I got to
You
the finish
finished.
line and limped all the way home and limped for a few days after. And I was like, I
Yeah.
thought people limp after marathons, but I'm at that stage in my life where I limp after like a 3-mile run.
See?
So
Folks, Olympic finalists, they're just like us. They are just like us.
they're broken humans, just like the rest of us.
Well, congratulations. I am proud of you, Julie.
Thanks,
it was a
Chris.
great race.
Thank you.
For a lot of folks, it was an amazing day, an amazing event, and a lot of runners out there that I talked to were using it for preparation for a fall marathon, including the Marine Corps Marathon. And this year, Pacers is a sponsor of the Marine Corps Marathon. We're partnering with Ultra and Recover Brands to sponsor Marine Corps Marathon. And we're going to be working with our next guest, and we're going to bring them in at the Marine Corps Marathon weekend, which is just a few weeks away. So we'll bring him in. Now is coming up on Pace the Nation, Bill Johnston, Recover Brands co-founder and president. He joins us next here on Pace the Nation.
Pace the Nation is brought to you by Pacers Running Stores. Pacers has 5 stores in Northern Virginia and DC. For the best running footwear, apparel, and gear, just stop by or schedule a virtual fitting with the best running experts in the business. Pacers Running exists to help as many people as possible through running. For every run, it's Pacers Running.
All right, welcome back to the program. And now, Julie, we are excited to be joined by the Recover Brands co-founder and president. It's Bill Johnston. Bill, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks, Chris, Julie. It's good to see you guys, and appreciate you having me on the podcast.
Oh man, great to see you. And just before you came on, Julie, as we were just chatting a little bit, comment on your accent. So where are you from, and where's Recover Brands located?
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in North Carolina, and that is where Recover Brands is headquartered as well. So I grew up here, went to college here, moved away for a little while, but then moved back when we were starting the business. So we are about 6 hours south of you guys, but definitely, I guess, enough distance where there is a little bit of a difference in accents.
Hold on a second. So that sounds like a similar story. Born and raised,
Yeah.
okay, North Carolina and Virginia.
Mhm.
Went to university inside your state, left for a hot minute,
Yep, that's what
realized,
I
why
did.
would I ever leave and come back? You guys literally have the
Bill
same
and I are
story.
the same. We're the same. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're
I feel fortunate to like where I'm from, and most of my family is around North Carolina as well. So we're super close, and it's fun to be near them and still be able to get out and travel quite a bit too.
No doubt, man. My mom is from right outside Winston-Salem, and she has lost her accent now.
No,
It took-
she has not. Are you kidding me?
She-
No.
she's lived in
no,
Virginia.
no.
She's lived in Virginia for almost 40 years. So yeah, I think she's maybe over 40 years actually.
She has not.
Yeah.
She has not. It gets thicker every time she goes
Wh-
back down south.
So where are you? Where are you located in North Carolina?
So Recover is based out of Charlotte.
Okay.
And I grew up actually near pretty close to Winston-Salem in a town called Statesville.
Hmm. Yep.
So about 45 minutes west of Winston. And we do a lot of our manufacturing around here as well. So with Recover's process, we have production here in the U.S. with factories in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and then we also have a factory down in El Salvador. But it's really cool because there's so much textile history in North Carolina,
Yeah.
and we're able to make products really close to home as well. But yeah, we're based out of the Charlotte area.
So we're really excited about our partnership with Marine Corps. It's coming up here at the end of the month. But tell us about Recover Brands. Tell us what differentiates you guys.
Yeah, so we've been in business since 2010,
Mhm.
and hard to believe it's been 13 years now. But we've been mission driven since the beginning, and I think one of the biggest differentiators for our brand compared to other brands that are either in the sustainable, eco-friendly space or have eco-friendly products is that our whole company DNA is built on sustainability. We started out in 2010 with the mission to make the most environmentally friendly and socially responsible products possible, and then we also had an educational component to our mission as well, and that it's really to help inspire people to be better stewards of the environment, and that all kind of came together with my background. I actually went to NC State, was in the College of Textiles there. I grew up around textiles, have always been really into outdoor sports. And when I graduated from NC State in 2008, the terrible time to enter the workforce, I actually almost moved up to DC. I spent
No
about
kidding. Wow.
6
That's
weeks
how
up
desperate
there.
he got. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, it was really funny. I
Kidding.
moved up there after or I was about to move up there after graduation. And that was like in September of 2008, and had some, was interviewing, doing all that, and ended up like while I was up there is when the world fell apart. I had a job offer, and 2 days later is when Lehman Brothers went under, and
Oh,
I'd been up there for like 5-6 weeks, and I was like, writing was on the wall. I was like, I'm not moving to DC. I'm not
yeah.
signing this lease. I was staying with some friends at the time, and ended up not moving up there. But that's actually kind of what triggered my entrepreneurial journey. I was, recent college grad. I was working for an outdoor adventure company, guiding backpacking and mountaineering trips. I was taking students on, 3-4 week expeditions. We were running trips a lot out west, but kind of all over the world as well. And that environmental education piece of it is what led me into the sustainability world. So while the world was kind of shut down, I started thinking outside the box a little bit about what I wanted to do. It all kind of came back to sustainability and wanting to get into sustainable business. And so in the fall of 2009, about a year later from when I left DC, I learned about the technology of using recycled cotton and recycled polyester in textile applications. At the time, it was found more in harsher textiles like carpets and really coarser yarn counts. But we felt like there was an opportunity to take that technology and put it into apparel. And so I partnered up with a good family friend who'd been in the textile business for 30 years, a friend of my dad's, a guy named John Riddle, who ended up being my co-founder and business partner. And he and I, he was willing to put some money into it. I was willing to put time into it, and the little money that I did have at the time. And basically we came up with the idea for Recover. And for a couple years, it was slow moving. We started it from scratch. It was very organic. But by 2012, I kind of hit this crossroads where we started really picking up some momentum, and I decided to quit my day job then and focus on Recover full time.
Wow.
So that was about 11 years ago, and we've just kind of been on a steady incline since.
I love entrepreneurial journeys and stories. Did you realize in 2008, like how crowded and how hard this would be to do? Like, this is a crowded space. A lot of people want to make, shirts and apparel.
Yeah, I think some of my youthful ignorance was probably a good thing in those
It
early
always
days,
is.
because you just really I had honestly no idea how crowded the space was, and I was also at a really good point in my life where I didn't really, need much to live on. I was
Sure.
kind of a dirtbag backpacker and outdoors guy anyway. So I was totally fine, like living on an air mattress and doing that sort of thing. So it was good timing. But no, I had a lot to learn about the market and where we would fit in.
That's pretty cool. So can you explain more about I'm wearing, and for our YouTube viewers and the other listeners out there, I'm wearing a Recover Brands shirt that's been co-branded with Pacers Running, but this is out of 100% recycled material. Can you go in? I know you mentioned that. Can you go into more about how that process works?
Yeah, so our big thing is all of our products are made with 100% recycled materials. We really have two key ingredients, and that's recycled cotton and recycled polyester. Recycled polyester is much more common in the marketplace, especially now. When we first started, the whole idea of making shirts from plastic bottles was a very novel concept to
Mhm.
people. It was like they're like, "Whoa, how are you doing that?" But what a lot of people don't realize is that really any synthetic textile or in most performance products are actually petroleum based anyway, and so what we do is use recycled plastics instead of virgin plastics. So most anything that folks are running in has some sort of polyester component to it. So that's one piece of it, is the recycled poly, and that comes from post-consumer water bottles, Coke bottles, Gatorade bottles, basically all the number ones you put in the recycling bin.
Mhm.
We're able to take that material. We work with a facility here in North Carolina as well that actually brings in the recycled material from curbside waste. They wash the bottles, they chop them up into flakes, they melt the flakes into pellets, and then they extrude it into a polyester fiber. And
So
that's
let me
all.
Amazing.
Yeah.
let me ask you this. So literally, if I'm in North Carolina, if I'm in Winston-Salem, and I'm putting a number one plastic bottle into a recycling bin, that could be in a shirt that I'm wearing.
Totally.
Is that
Yeah.
wow? That's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And there's the recycling rates in the US are unfortunately, alarmingly low.
I bet.
We really, that's something we need to work on as a society, is just improving recycling, and not just the recycling rates, but how we recycle. There's a lot of issues with, mixed use recycling, and a lot of it does have to be separated and that sort of thing. But just based on population density alone, the about 70% of the plastic that you'd find in our products is actually coming from the East Coast. Even though some of that plastic waste could come from other parts of the world, the way we see it is it's a global problem, and we're trying to act locally on it, but
Mhm.
thinking globally with it. So yeah, that's the recycled plastic piece of it, and then the other thing that really makes Recover unique, and I think in comparison to other brands that are incorporating more recycled polyester into their products as well, is that we use recycled cotton.
Mhm.
And that part of the process is extremely unique for us. We take a lot of post-industrial waste that would otherwise go to the landfill, and we sort that waste by color, break the fibers down, and then blend it with recycled polyester. And then we also are able to use post-consumer cotton waste as well. So that's literally your old t-shirts. So you could clean out your drawer, and actually through our 360-degree closed loop program, we're able to take back post-consumer garments, bring them back to our facility, break it down, and put it back into the supply chain. So the whole idea with that is every product we make is designed to be infinitely recyclable. It'll never end up in the landfill as long as you participate in that 360 closed loop program. So we take that approach with, on a consumer level, and then we work with a lot of B2B partners as well. So one thing we're really excited about with the Marine Corps Marathon is the fact that we're going to have this closed loop bin recycling center. It's part of the
Yeah.
activation in the Pacers Recover Ultra Expo, official merchandise area, where people can literally, clean out their drawers at home, bring their old shirts in, we'll take them back, and they're contributing to that circular economy that way.
Yeah, and a
That's so cool.
quick plug here too for that. Certainly a lot of people will be running Marine Corps who are listening to this, but you can also come into a Pacers Running I think all our locations, and we'll have a bin that you can recycle your shirts. And do you take any any type of polyester, cotton, any shirts, or just cotton?
So we take any cotton and polyester or
Okay.
cotton poly blends.
Okay.
So other materials are tougher to recycle. For example, you find a lot of rayon and tri-blend
Mhm.
shirts. That's a lot harder to recycle. So we try to really focus on just cotton and polyester. And then right now we're not taking back outerwear with extra trims. So think like zippers and
Yep.
buttons and that sort of thing. We're still fine tuning our process to be able to remove those. So we really try to keep it to mainly t-shirts at this point that are either cotton or polyester or a blend.
Now, this is all incredible, but this is a business, and there's margins that got to be hit. This got to be a lot more expensive, correct?
It definitely is. I mean, the cost of bringing in materials, we use a mechanical process to break down the fibers. There, you'll see a lot of like chemical processing or mechanical processing, and then getting it back into fiber form before it's spun into yarn. All those steps that happen before that, it does add cost, right?
Mhm.
So for us, our yarn cost are going to be higher than what you would find with someone using virgin materials. But what we found is we can kind of make up for those cost increase or the increase in raw materials and processing in other areas of the supply chain. And one of the biggest ways we do that is we're fully vertically integrated. So
Mhm.
we control our entire supply chain from raw material to
Mhm.
finished product. And
Mhm.
so we're able to save a little bit on each step and ultimately come in at a very competitive price point. Especially once you get to the retail level, I think what you guys have probably seen, like the Pacer shirt that you're wearing is going to be at a very comparable price point to other products on
Definitely.
the market. So that's because we're vertical and we're able to control it. But inevitably, we do have more cost and associated with that recycling process.
Have you guys had any brands like of the big running brands reach out to you to even make one-off pieces or, as their curiosity grows about having more sustainable products in their lineup?
Yeah, we do some private label business where we're working with other brands on that level, but the majority of what we do is more co-branded.
Mhm.
We do offer um, full in-house decoration services with screen printing, embroidery, heat transfer. So like with Pacers, for example, we're able to deliver a finished product that's retail ready and ready to kind of hit the floor. So we're making the blank garment and doing the embellishment. Um,
Okay.
in terms of working with other brands, yeah, we've definitely had a lot of interest on that point and done some, quite a few collabs where we're making product with other brands as well. And that's kind of where we see Recover is like we're that sustainable blank canvas for them where they can come
Mhm.
in and we can be a vehicle to help them tell their sustainability story as a brand. And kind of across our whole customer base, that's a big part of what we can offer is because we have our own factories, we can certify everything that we make. We've done third party audits and we can really give you a sustainability report to not just show the recycled material that's being used, but we can also show the reduction in carbon emissions, the water
Mm.
savings, the
Cool.
energy savings, the plastic and cotton that's being diverted from the landfill. So we try to take a really more holistic approach to our
Mhm.
entire manufacturing and offer that sustainability report and try to be a partner to different brands in that way.
Well, man, I'm really excited that you're leaning in to the run space. You guys do a lot of different things, but I think there's a huge opportunity in run. And is that a big part of the Recover Brand's future?
Absolutely. We love the running industry. It's
Mhm.
just it's fun, honestly. We get to
Mhm.
work with great people like you guys and the rest of the Pacers team. Marine Corps Marathon, like they've got a great staff, but we work with a lot of other folks in the running industry as well, both on the event side and then of course retail products as well. give you an example, we were out in Boulder, Colorado just last weekend for the Boulderthon
Mhm.
marathon, which is a newer race, but they're 8,000 runners or so. And, we did all the participant shirts, we did the volunteer shirts, we did all the merchandise, and we set up at their expo. We had, I guess, 5 folks on our team out there. We all ran the half marathon. We love just being in the running community, and really, see that as a big part of Recover's future is focusing on run, and then other industries that we're into as well. And I always laugh with folks who are like, well, how'd you get into these different markets? And
Yeah.
when we were first starting out, honestly, it was a lot of it was just stuff that we were interested in, because that's the most natural place to sell. So like, big areas that we focus: running industry, outdoor industry. We work with a ton of craft breweries. We work with a
Mhm.
lot of like touring bands and festivals. Of course, we do corporate wear, resorts, all that type of stuff. But like those, not and work with a lot of coffee shops, that just stuff that we
Mhm.
like. And for us, that just makes work really fun, because we get to work with great folks like you guys on a day-to-day basis, and show up at events, and just be part of those industries. So yeah, to answer your question, run is definitely a big part of
Yeah.
our future.
How do we figure out how to do more partnerships with coffee shops and breweries? Because I'd like to get some
Oh,
samples going, little testing and
after the
stuff. I mean, I don't want to work with them unless it tastes
let's
good,
get some advice
Yeah.
from him after this podcast. That's a
Okay,
good
okay,
idea.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I see you do have on your website, and you can check out recoverbrands.com. Sierra Nevada. You work with Big Sur, Rivian. That's a really cool brand. What were you doing? What are you doing for Rivian?
Yeah, so Rivian has a pretty full apparel line.
Okay.
Everything from employee and staff uniforms to merchandise that they sell in their new showrooms and on their website. So they've been really exciting to work with. Obviously, with their focus on making really nice EVs and carbon reduction, it's a natural fit. So they of course want a sustainable product that they can
Yeah.
they can offer to their customers and employees.
Yeah, it is cool that you get to decide who to work with. And these are some really cool brands. Again, recoverbrands.com. Um, Marine Corps Marathon's on there.
Yeah.
How did you get connected to Marine Corps, number one? And number two, they've had a long standing relationship with Brooks. So there's going to be high expectations to what you need to deliver for the Marine Corps Marathon, jackets and other related accessories and apparel. So how did you get connected with Marine Corps? How did you get the partnership? And then how do you feel about how do you feel some pressure to deliver here?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess the first part of that question, I think the timing was good, as are most things with business and
Yeah,
life. I think
it's got to work.
timing is a large part of it. You
Yep.
got to create your own luck in a lot of ways too, though. And we were well positioned to be able to start working with them when that Brooks relationship was ending. So yeah, we're ecstatic about it, and it's certainly a marquee event for us. It's a flat, premier marathon in the country, in the world, and we're just honored to be able to be the official apparel partner, and that Marine Corps would trust us to come in and execute a really awesome space for them, and offer great products to all the runners. I think they were initially drawn to Recover, though, really because of our sustainability
Sure.
efforts. They're providing their leadership in so many different areas, and just commitment to excellence. Sustainability fits into that in so many ways. It's obviously the right thing to do from an environmental standpoint. We also put a lot of emphasis on social responsibility, and then as Alex from Marine Corps
The
has
race
mentioned,
director.
their race director. You know, sustainability is a national security issue too. So it's
Hmm.
another thing, like from a governmental standpoint, where they're thinking like, hey, this is a responsible way to approach things. So I think just there's so much alignment where they have a commitment to excellent sustainability. That's something that we can offer. And so we were able to put together a really nice partnership with them, and come in. This will be year one. We're very excited for the expo in a couple weeks, and for us, a big part of that too is we thought about like, okay, this is a massive race. The expectations from runners and the 30,000 people that are, estimated finishers, 200,000 people kind of there throughout the weekend. It's a lot of people coming into one area. And as we were looking at that, we wanted to make sure we were set up for success and had a great plan to execute an awesome activation with great product that would deliver just a premium experience for the runners. And that's kind of where Pacers came in.
Yep.
We were looking around at trying to find the right partner to come into this with. And you guys have such a great reputation in your area, and we started those conversations with you guys, and I think forged an awesome partnership where we are truly going to have a great retail activation with all of your expertise and experience there. And then we're also really excited to have Ultra on board as well as the footwear partner. I think as we look at Pacers, Ultra, and Recover, and kind of the three brands together, we all have different expertise, but a really kind of shared vision for what we want to do. And I think at the end of the day, we're going to provide and just an amazing experience for all the runners coming through, and really to the level that Marine Corps as a government organization would expect. So we're excited with what we have, and in the team that's in place with all three brands. And it's hard to believe that it's just 2 weeks out now.
10/29 is the date of the race, so we'll be at the expo a couple days prior to that. And Julie, I don't know if you know, first time we talked about this with Bill, it was me and Kathy and Bill, and I think that was probably the three of us. You and I were about Bill. Julie and I have 3 kids, and we were going to the Super Mario Brothers movie in Florida. And I was on the phone, and you were getting the kids and popcorn, and I was talking to Bill. I
was probably yelling at you
Yeah,
too. Like, wrap up. What are you doing? Let's go.
Probably. But I remember from that first conversation on, I could not be more excited and thrilled that you guys would trust us for this. It's going to be a really cool event. And like you said, hopefully 30,000 finishers or 30,000 participants between the 50K, the 10K, and of course the marathon.
Well, I love it too, because it's like there's a story to tell, right? With the apparel. I mean, you don't usually have a story to tell with a shirt, like a race shirt.
Yeah.
It's coming from the sponsor, but there's more to talk about this year with this piece of apparel. And, you get 30,000 people wearing it and taking pride in it. And hey, at the end of the day, you're getting your product in front of the military too. I would imagine they have pretty good contracts with some of these things. So
Yeah,
we're wishing you luck on that one.
Well, thanks.
And I'm sure you'll use the expo for a lot of storytelling, right? That'll be one of the purposes of the expo.
Totally. And we've actually been going through a brand refresh. We've been working on it for the past really 10 months or so. And we just went live with our new website on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So if you go to
Timing.
recoverbrands.com, you'll see, our refreshed logo. We have new taglines, new storytelling elements kind of across the board. And we identified Marine Corps as our, that was the stake in the ground or flag in the ground where we said, we got to have it done by then, because we want this to be our first in-person consumer activation. So we're really excited to bring all those storytelling elements to the expo and showcase our new branding to the world. And a lot of that it's the same ethos we've had as a brand since 2010 when we started. It's just refined, and we're continuing to evolve as a company. We very much view sustainability as a journey and kind of the constant pursuit to do better. It's never a destination where you kind of get there and you say, yeah, we're sustainable. It's like, that's not the way it works. It's more like, how can we constantly improve as a company with the way we're making products, how we're doing it, how we're sharing that messaging with our customers, our followers, just with the world in general. And so we're really excited for that. And the way we've designed our booth the way we've basically designed our whole activation at the expo is almost kind of like a museum approach, where someone can come in and like they get introduced to Recover, and then they can kind of walk this graphic wall and get and feel what our brand is all about, what the mission is, the fact that we're proudly low waste, hyper local, 360 closed loop, and then they have an opportunity to drop off their old shirts into our 360 closed loop bin, and we'll recycle them. And then of course they're shopping merchandise and seeing all the products that are made with this circular system. So we very much are thinking about it in that way, where we want it to be an experience for the runners coming through.
Yeah, and one other story, and we're going to get you out of here, that I recall. I mean, this has been a journey for you. I remember seeing you at the Kick Show,
Yeah.
maybe in Boulder, 10 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
At this point, 2013 or something like that. Whenever the first Kick Show was, and you just had a little table, and in a dark corner. And look at you now. Man.
Now it's in person, experiential. We want our
It is a
customers to
journey.
feel the journey type of experience.
Totally.
But,
yeah, that was that was wild at the Kick Show, and I enjoyed meeting you there because it was fun to, knew about Pacers from all the years, but just to see y'all's passion and energy around Pacers is always really exciting. So I think that just adds so much to the partnership.
Well, I appreciate that, man, and you'll continue to after Marine Corps, you'll continue to see a more and more of an offering of your stuff here at our shops, at our 5 stores here in DC. And you frankly, you got an opportunity in this space, Bill. I mean, it's crowded, as we said from the get-go. It's really hard to do. So the fact that you have broken through, and I'm sure you feel like you're grinding and you're still a startup, but you have broken through with what you've done. But there is a huge opportunity in what is a really interesting space for specialty run, where people are looking for really good apparel offerings. And I'm telling you, the younger generation really is diving into, and what you're doing resonates with them.
Yeah. I have this vision of the two of you meeting at the Kick Show and you being like, yeah, we have a sustainable apparel business. And Chris being like, wow, good luck. But congratulations to you guys, because it is a grind and it is hard to make a statement in this space. And I think you're probably really coming into your own as sustainability becomes more and more and more valuable to consumers and
Totally.
more of a conversation. And especially these Gen Z kids who are out there shopping right now, it's a big deal. They have got a lot of fears about what the world is going to look like in 20 years, and how their shopping matters, and who they're working with, and where their fabrics and materials are coming from. So it should be it's exciting for you guys. Congrats.
Well, totally, and we definitely agree and appreciate that very much. It's certainly been exciting over the years. That if we think back 13 years, I mean, it was such an uphill battle in the beginning of like even just getting people to conceptualize what we were doing. It's like, wait a minute, you're selling garbage tees, and the joke was I was selling garbage tees out of the trunk of my car, and my friends were like, even my good
You're
friends,
like, well, I kind of am,
like,
but
"What
it's
are you
fine.
doing?"
People, and I think it's interesting too, because I don't know that people cared 10 years ago that you were making sustainable product. Now
Not
it
as
matters,
much.
but you're like trying to convince people that buying a sustainable product is important. And they're like, well, how much is it? And now that's a very different conversation.
Totally. And we're, I think the circularity aspect of it too is really helped as we've been able to improve and just evolve what we can offer there. That, that was the initial vision with the company, is for everything to be circular, but to build that infrastructure to be able to take back shirts, put them back into the supply chain. That's been such an ongoing effort, and it's really exciting where we see that evolving, and we feel like we can really be a leader in that space, and customers are certainly asking for it. So we're excited about that, and glad that you guys have the bins in your stores as well, because it just really kind of brings everything full circle.
Well, last thing here, you know about our company Relay, where we're refurbishing and recycling shoes, which has been an awesome, business. We're in the infancy stages, a couple years old. Julie is the CMO of that business. So I should be doing work not on the podcast, but I was supposed to
Oh, you're
connect you,
pitching
Bill.
something
No, I
here?
was
Okay, here
supposed
we
to. I
go.
was supposed to connect you two. So, anyways, we'll have to connect on that too, because I think there's a lot of synergies between Recover Brands and what Relay's doing with the footwear.
Definitely.
So we'll look forward to that conversation. All right, Bill. Thanks so much for your time. Looking forward to seeing you in town. We are already feeling and seeing the energy here in DC for the Marine Corps Marathon, and your brand is a big part of that. So congratulations on that. Even though you're just getting started, it's going to be an awesome weekend. So awesome stuff, Bill. Really appreciate you joining us here on Pace the Nation.
Well, thanks for having me, and excited to see you guys in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we will look forward to that. All right, that's Bill Johnston, Recover Brands co-founder and president. He joined us on Pace the Nation. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
Pace the Nation is brought to you by Pacers Running Stores. Pacers has 5 stores in Northern Virginia and DC. For the best running footwear, apparel, and gear, just stop by or schedule a virtual fitting with the best running experts in the business. Pacers Running exists to help as many people as possible through running. For every run, it's Pacers Running.
All right, welcome back to the program, and thanks again to Bill Johnston for joining us. He, of course, is the founder of Recover Brands. He's currently the president as well. Awesome stuff there. I really enjoyed that conversation, and I didn't prep him with a few of those things, but he was locked right in, and even remembered seeing me at the kick show when he had that table. Maybe I'm embellishing. Maybe it wasn't like a dark, dingy room like that.
I think
Maybe
you were
it was-
embellishing. I don't think he was in that far of a corner.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But pretty impressive what the team there at Recover Brands have done. Awesome, awesome story, awesome brand, and we're thrilled to be partnered with them. We're also going to try to partner with their podcast. So we're gonna try to put this out together. Yeah. So if you're just hearing us for the first time because you follow Bill and the Recover Brands podcast, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. We're Pace the Nation. I'm Chris. This is Julie.
Follow us.
Yeah. I'm Aries, and Julie is a what are you?
Oh,
What's a
Lord. Here we go.
What's a September birthday?
I'm a Virgo.
Virgo, yeah. So
The
anyways,
very important piece of information. Thank
We-
you for sharing.
we broadcast from the center of the universe. Yeah. So
Now somebody's going to respond like Aries and Virgos like don't get along. They're not supposed to be
yeah,
together.
sounds about right. Yeah, thanks to Bill. An awesome idea of collaborating on our podcast with their podcast. All right. So I wanted to set something up for our next show before we get out of here, Julie. So, we mentioned a number of times Relay, and your new position with Relay. We're excited to do a podcast from Relay.
Mhm.
That will be our next show with our new what's Brandon's position at Relay?
Social media coordinator.
So our new social media
manager.
coordinator is going to help us out, record a podcast in Richmond. And so we'll be talking about what Relay is, what Relay does, and how it relates to, the customer, the vendors, and, everybody else who is engaging with the brand. So I just wanted to set that up because we're going to try to post that, shortly after this one. And I think it's going to be a good show.
Yeah. I think we've mentioned Relay a lot
Yes.
on the show.
Yeah.
But I think there's still a big question mark. What the heck is
Yeah.
Relay?
Yep.
And why should I shop there? So hopefully we can answer some of that.
Yeah. So relaygoods.com, where we are selling refurbished.
99% new,
Yep.
refreshed
Yes.
performance running footwear.
That's right. So you can check us out at relaygoods.com. And you'll hear more about that on next show.
Next show.
All right. You feeling good after your run? Have you run since the race?
I have.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad it didn't.
We're not
like,
going to talk much about it anymore.
I'm glad it didn't scar you from running at all in the future.
No, I
That's good.
enjoy running. It's just I think I'm back to the old routine, which
Yeah.
is a couple days a week,
Okay.
light little jog, and then mix it up with other things. So
Well, I'm going to try to convince her. Don't listen to this. I'm going to try to convince you to run that half marathon again next year.
we'll just keep coming back at it.
Yeah.
We'll do the exact same thing and hope for a different result.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Great to be back on Pace the Nation here with Julie. Thanks to our guest, Bill Johnston, co-founder and president of Recover Brands. Looking forward to seeing Bill and the team here in a couple weeks at the Marine Corps Marathon. All right. That's Julie. I'm Chris. This is Pace the Nation. We will see you next time.